Did I ever tell anyone that I hate bye weeks? So funny that I started doing this as part of my channel this year because I haven't done a game reaction after a loss yet. It's all been, playing in daisies at this point, playing in the flowers. So here we go. The Packers lost 38-10 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's 38 points unanswered by the Green Bay Packers there. So they were up 10-0. Aaron Rodgers seemingly ran in a touchdown. Did the Hingle-McCringleberry celebration, the 3 pumps.
See, now there's 2 pumps.
Yeah, he's really testing the boundaries, and he's clearly gotten the ref's attention here.
A 3rd pump will draw a flag no matter what. See, he just did it again.
And if Key and Peele taught you anything, you never do the 3 pumps. And it all went downhill after that. Of course, Aaron Jones ran in a touchdown the next play, but I digress. Just a really, really, really uncharacteristic performance by Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers offense for this year. And the defense really didn't help them, but this loss was definitely on the offense. It wasn't like, hey, defense, you didn't do anything. Like, yeah, they didn't do great, but the Packers pretty much gave Tampa Bay 14 points in the matter of 13 seconds, and that momentum just completely killed the game. And you'd think from a guy like Aaron Rodgers that he could overcome that in his mind, but I think it really did play a toll on him, and I think he got in his own head because he looked off after that, like the whole game. So we start off with the pick 6 with Aaron Rodgers, just very uncharacteristic, 3rd of his career, 2 of which come against Tampa Bay. I don't know what it is about Tampa Bay, but I know Aaron does hate Raymond James Stadium. Don't think that's a good excuse, but he was an 10-yard out to Devontae on a 3rd and 10. The corner's going to be playing the sticks there. He had no safety coverage, but he's running a cover 3 shell. He's going to play the sticks there if you're running it looks like a 1 on you. He's gonna, and if he's reading Aaron Rodgers' eyes, it's all day for Dean there. Aaron stared down Devontae the entire play, the whole time. Snap, stare, throw for that out route, that quick out, pick 6. Just very uncharacteristic. I think Aaron kind of got a little too cocky throughout the first 4 weeks tonight because he probably thinks, hey, I don't need to do all this stuff, And the corner watched his film and he took him to class. So that was very uncharacteristic pick 6 by Aaron Rodgers. And then, of course, the next drive, quick slant Devontae Adams. Looks like Shaq Barrett was offsides. Again, I digress. Devontae should have caught the ball. It was a contested catch, tipped up, interception, brought down to the 5. Rojo runs it in the next play. So that's 14. That's 14. A quick 14-point swing in the matter of 30 seconds when you're already up. You were up 10-0 and seemingly had a hold on the game. Like when the Packers were up 10-0. I was like, this team is really good. Like, no one's stopping them. They're up 10-0. It looked like they're about to go down and get some points again. Everyone was smiling. Everyone was happy. And then it was the pick 6, and then just boom, 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 all the way until the 4th quarter. Just endless. The Packers couldn't get anything going on offense after that pick 6. So before I get into the bad, I'm just going to put a little bit of good. I'm gonna kind of go over my points, what were, the decent bits of the game, which are seldom, but Chris Barnes, clearly the best defender today. This guy is special. He's obviously undrafted out of UCLA, but he played a good game, and I would say he's one of the only few players on that defense that played a good game. He seems to be all around the field, but yeah, Chris Barnes had a good game. You don't like to hear this, but J.K. Scott had a good game because you don't want him to punt, and you would rather him punt 0 times in a game, and that's a good game, but J.K. Scott had to punt 7 times. He punted 7 times the last 4 games this entire season. He had to double that tonight. But in all those punts, he did look good. So A.J. Dillon ran tough when he got his carries. He got one early on that was called back for holding on Elton Jenkins, and it looks like he was hit low and did like a front flip. And that reminded me so much of Eddie Lacy, like seeing defenders tackle him low and then flipping around and doing all this crazy stuff. That reminded me so much of Eddie Lacy, and that's a good thing to say. And then he didn't get snaps after that until the end of the game when it was garbage time. But in garbage time, Levante David and Devin White were still on the field, and he had a good, decent chunk run there and some other tough runs. So, I mean, A.J. Dillon, I think, needs to get a little more carries, especially against teams that play so physical like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You need to let Devin White and Levante David know, like, just run A.J. Dillon up the middle and crack helmets with them. Or just hit them right in the mouth with a big back like A.J. Dillon. All right. So now we need to go on to the bad and almost have 2 pages of that. Before I go on to that, though, I will say, not taking anything away from the Bucs defense. Bucs defense is very legit. Those 2 linebackers, and Lavonte David and Devin White, are some of the best linebacker play I've seen in a while. It's extremely fast. They seemed like they had the edge every single play, so I'm not taking anything away from them. Still screwing Ndamukong Suh. Don't care about him. He can go fall in a hole. It doesn't matter to me. He's been playing shitty his entire career. He's been playing like a bum. Don't care about him. But Devin White, Lavonte David, even Antoine Winfield Jr., the safety, he played good, and their young DBs played good. Like I said, Devin White is an up-and-coming player, a very good linebacker. I also want to go into a little bit that it seemed Aaron Rodgers was getting hit a lot after the throw or whatever. It just seemed like he's kept hitting the ground a lot. And I'm not trying to say like they should be flags every time, but there was a few that definitely should have been. And it is football. It is a contact sport. I get that. But you also have to look at it in another perspective. Like, if that was Tom Brady getting hit like that, like, they probably would have thrown those flags. I know there's an opposite narrative usually. There's people saying, Aaron Rodgers gets all the calls, but no. This is a clear example. Buccaneers didn't have a single penalty on them. The only one they did was offset, so, it's a clear example of that. A lot of old football coaches will say, if you lose the line of scrimmage battle, you will lose the game. And they did just that. The line of scrimmage, they got destroyed today. It seemed every play they were being backed up, or on defense, vice versa. Every play they were being pushed back. The Packers' offensive line looked near perfect through the first 4 weeks, but today they completely got manhandled. JPP, Barrett, David, White, Vita Vea was out, but it didn't seem like that mattered at all. Another thing, why did they keep running outside runs? These quick toss plays. I don't know why you try to get to the edge with a running back against players like Devin White and Lavonte David. They got there every single time. Every single time. If you recall, the biggest run on the day was a 26-yarder by Jamal Williams running right up the gut. They should have ran up the gut more between the guards, but, I'm not an offensive coordinator, but that's just my opinion. Another thing is they broke down after adversity. They broke down after the momentum shift. I know Tyler Ervin was out, and he does a lot of that pre-snap motion stuff, but it just seemed they went away completely from that. And it seems they brought back a lot of old habits when they were down a lot of points. It seemed it wasn't any quick schemed open plays. Early the first 2 drives, they were man-beating the shit out of the Buccaneers defense when they were running man. Crossers, quick pick plays, and VS getting open, Devontae getting open. It looked seamless. But after that, when they got through adversity, it seemed they went away from that, and they went to, it looked like the old Aaron Rodgers with late Mike McCarthy, just holding onto the ball, trying to extend the play, guys not getting open, and that, you gotta stick with your game plan. You gotta stick with the run game. You gotta stick with all that, no matter how much you're down. Because if you go away from that, you're just gonna start throwing up prayers, and they're just not gonna happen. On the defensive side of the ball, a lot of people have been saying this on Twitter and on social media. Preston Smith looks very lazy this year, and you haven't really seen him do much. Like I said before, he has been dropping in coverage more. That is a schematic thing, but I've seen him on plays where there's a run, and it just seems like he doesn't even try to go after the guy, or he's going half speed, and he doesn't try to finish the tackle, or it just doesn't look good. And even, Za'Darius has been having a good year, but he didn't get his name called at all today, I don't think. I think he had maybe one pressure. You need more out of these linebackers. Like, they were so great last year. And I know Z has I think has 5 sacks this year, but you need more out of Preston Smith mainly is my point. Rashawn Gary is stepping up. He is becoming a better player, and that's just making it seem like Preston Smith could even be traded or definitely going after this year. Another guy that probably, ties Preston Smith with most disappointing for this year in terms of Packers defense is Adrian Amos. I said it last week or 2 weeks ago. Just hasn't impressed me. Seems off. Doesn't really seem to make plays. He had a good year last year, but this year he seems off to me, and I know a lot of people are starting to see it, but I've said this for a few weeks now. I don't think he's had one great game yet. He's had some average ones and then some below average ones and some bad ones. Today was a bad one. You need more out of Adrian Amos. You need more out of Darnell Savage. I don't think I heard Darnell Savage's names called once today, and I know that's kind of good if you're a safety because that means the ball's not getting thrown your side, but you want to hear their name screaming down the field, making tackles, and getting into the backfield, that sort of thing, and stopping the run plays and stopping quick passes, Speaking of defensive backs and Amos and Savage, it just seems defensive backs and defenders on the Packers in general for the past couple years haven't been too good at playing the ball. It always seems like there'll either be a tip drill or a bad throw, and it always seems these defenders are playing the ball so bad or just clearly dropping it. Amos had one. There was another one that got tipped straight up in there, and it looked like Ty Summers missed it. It just looks so awkward when it's a tip drill, when normally you would think these are easy interceptions. There are about 3 or 4 plays tonight that could have ended in an interception for Tom Brady, but they didn't. I think these defensive backs and linebackers need to work on ball drills a little bit more. It just seems that if it's not a clear-cut interception, we haven't been getting them. So like I said, one of the defenders I did like a lot tonight was Chris Barnes. He's been playing really well at inside linebacker. He's been the clear-cut best inside linebacker on this Packers football team. Kirksey played decent in the first few weeks before getting hurt, but Chris Barnes has actually shown up. Like, you see him make plays, and you're like, damn, that's a good play. So he's been clear-cut the best inside linebacker on the Packers this year, and he was clear-cut the best defender on the Packers tonight. Why is he on special teams still? Because he got hurt on a special teams play late in the game. Why is he on special teams? He came back, but that's not the point. If he's your best inside linebacker, why are you on special teams? That's like putting Devontae Adams. I mean, I know that's exaggerated, but that's like putting Devontae Adams at gunner on special teams. Why? Why do that? If Chris Barnes is a big part of your defense and you look forward to him being a bigger part of your defense moving forward, he doesn't need to be on special teams. That's how you get guys hurt. Special teams is one of the most injury-inducive packages in football. So now that my rant is over, talk a little bit about the injuries. I know there will probably more that will pop up, but for all I know now, Tyler Lancaster left with a back injury, did not return, and most importantly, David Bakhtiari left with a chest injury and also did not return. That's a big hit. That is a very big hit. If David Bakhtiari can't go, I feel like that offensive line loses a lot of its chemistry. It loses a lot of its power. Rick Wagner came in to fill left tackle and got absolutely torched. Not his natural position. Came into a situation when they're down, 21, 28 points. So you can't really blame the guy. He played well at right tackle earlier in the year. But if Bakhtiari's out for an extended period of time, look out. They're going to have to figure out something and maybe move Elton Jenkins out to left tackle, Billy Turner in, and Rick Wagner at right tackle. But it's not going to be good if Bakhtiari's out. He didn't look terribly hurt. He walked away on his own power to the locker room. At first I thought it was a knee injury, but on the report it says chest. And then also Darnell Savage left with a quad injury. I don't know if he returned or not, or what he was deemed questionable, but that was late in the game and it never got updated. So pretty much I think you just need to throw out the tape and move on to the Texans next week. It's a very uncharacteristic loss by the Packers. Matt LaFleur is now 0-2 after a bye. I just don't like buys unless you have injuries, and which we did with Kenny Clark and Devontae Adams. Devontae had a few plays. I didn't hear Kenny's Clark name, but these buys seem to wreck so much chemistry, and that includes playoffs. You saw it last year, so just move on to the Texans. I look forward to seeing how that game comes out, and I also look forward to seeing Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show on Tuesday. Hopefully he shows up. I want to see them pick his brain over this because he looked really off today, and hopefully this isn't indicative of this Packers football team against a physical team like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I really hope this is just a random crumb in a pile and it's off to the side and, we're done with it. Just throw out the tape, move on to the Houston Texans. On that note, as always, go Pack, go. Have a good night, everyone.